I had always thought that peace was something you worked for, not something you happened upon. That's why, after 42 years working in environmental engineering, most of them spent elbow-deep in soil samples and paperwork, I retired to Meadow Hills, a peaceful town between two ridges with a spring-fed creek running behind my land. It wasn't ideal, but it was upright. At least, until the new HOA came along. They were young and eager, full of grand words such as revitalization and modernization. Their slick brochures promised nature trails, a new entrance sign, uniform fences, and most troubling to me, improved storm water solutions. The latter gave me the shivers. The thing about water is that it remembers. Alter its path and it won't forget. When the new HOA board, under the direction of a smooth-talking real estate woman named Karen Hull, began discussing relocating runoff and enhancing drainage effectiveness, I knew what they meant by it. They were going to begin digging where they did not belong. I attempted to mind my own business. I was finished with reports and yelling matches. But on a bright Tuesday in March, I walked out onto my back deck, coffee cup in hand, and observed two guys in neon vests spraying orange paint over the marshland beyond my fence. "Excuse me," I hollered, approaching. "What's happening?" "Drain line expansion, sir," one of them said. "Who approved this?" "Meadow Hills Development Solutions," he explained. The name sounded unfamiliar. I requested their permit. They had none. I had my back against the old stone library, which doubled as the HOA clubhouse now, by noon. Karen greeted me at the steps, all scripted smiles. "Those men demarcating the wetlands behind my house, are they working for you?" I asked. "Absolutely. Phase 1 of our runoff remediation project. The board approved it unanimously." "Did you submit with the town?" "There's no requirement." She waved her hand through the air. "It's HOA-owned land." "No, it's watershed bordering," I corrected, "which makes it regulated. The soil over there has high percolation. Anything you dig in seeps straight into Stony Brook and the town's water table." She looked at me vacantly. I went on, "You so much as scratch the wrong channel, and you're jeopardizing our whole community's well system." Her grin faltered, but she refused to give in. "With all due respect, Mr. Harland, we're attempting to enhance property values. You can be our guest at our next board meeting, but we've already taken a step." That evening, I took out my worn file box, maps, hydrology graphs, legal reports, the original zoning law for Meadow Hills' Eastern Basin. I wasn't going to declare war, but I wasn't going to let a marketing major property manager destroy my town's water supply. 3 days afterward, the season's first rain fell. A light shower developed into a constant rain. I observed as the orange paint lines, then trenches, began collecting water. The crew had dug directly into a low-absorption area, and water was already not draining. 2 days after that, bulldozers came, private, unregulated. They bulldozed ancient concrete culverts like they were in their own backyard. I phoned the Department of Environmental Quality, provided names, photos, GPS locations. The guy on the phone assured me someone would take a look, but I knew how slowly those wheels spun. Meanwhile, the HOA silenced anyone who questioned them. My neighbor Sarah posted about the bulldozers on Facebook. Her comment was removed. Ed, who'd lived here longer than I, protested at the next HOA meeting. They cut off his mic mid-sentence. A week later, I received a letter pinned on my door. HOA citation. Hindering community improvement plan. It seemed that trying to tell the construction workers something had been considered interfering. I chuckled, then sat down and composed a letter to the mayor, the county engineer, and a retired friend in state water compliance. The following weekend, I hiked to the creek at the back of my property. I knelt and scooped a handful of water. It was clean, cold, pure for the moment. But I knew the script too well. I knew how quickly it could all go wrong. And they did. The following week, the water coming out of my faucet was yellow. Sarah's dog became ill after it drank from the creek. It called. He had a sulfur-smelling water. I analyzed samples in my old garage laboratory. High coliform, benzene residues, a bump in turbidity and pH. Someone had diverted surface runoff into the stormwater system without filtration. That water was now flowing into the secondary supply line of the town. I sent every photo, every water test result to the Department of Environmental Quality, the County Health Office, and my old colleague, Dr. Evelyn Russo, now a regional director in environmental enforcement. She called me back. You'll have boots there by Friday. Don't let anyone fill in those trenches. By Friday, the property had been fenced off with caution tape. 3 black SUVs drove through Meadow Hill's gates. Karen wasn't smiling this time. State agents conducted soil tests, flew drones, and collected water samples. By lunchtime, the news reached each mailbox. The Asheville Water Department issued a warning. Boil all tap water indefinitely. Karen put up a frantic post accusing historic infrastructure decay. But the destruction was inescapable. The water was yellow, and the reality was starting to come out. The county convened an emergency hearing. The judge heard testimony, examined my maps, and heard from residents whose kids had fallen ill. Karen attempted to deflect responsibility, but the facts were too overwhelming. Unlicensed trenching, disregarded warnings, cash payments to a contractor with a lapsed license. The judge was quick to rule civil liability proceedings against the HOA, a criminal investigation under the State Clean Waters Act. The HOA board was dismantled. Temporary control went to the county. But the hard work was only just starting. The poison flowed through the ground, the pipes, the faith in our community. The county established a civilian oversight task force. I was asked to be technical advisor to the water restoration plan. I agreed on one condition: no titles, no chairmanship. I just wanted clean water for my neighbors. We charted out the damage, restored the drainage, and put filtration units in each house. Children learned to read test strips at night. My creek behind the house flowed clean once more. Sarah's little boy blew a leaf boat on the water, and for the first time in months, I permitted myself hope. The county's final report commended the function of coordination within the community and suggested new legislation to limit HOA power over environmental infrastructure. Karen's home was foreclosed to pay for lawyers. The dilapidated clubhouse was converted into a community co-op, its front wall covered in a mural, a heron emergent from blue waters over the words, "We listen now." And we did. We heard each other, the land, the water. I didn't want to be a hero. I just wanted to defend what counted. In the end, we didn't simply restore clean water. We rebuilt trust, connection, and the quiet peace I came here for. The creek behind my home sang once more. And I listened.